Let's simplify the TH12 Queen Charge Lalo. We're going to explain everything that you need to know to get more 3 stars. What's going on, guys? My name's Corrupt. Let's walk you through the basics of the Queen Charge Lalo. So what are you looking for in a base to use it? Well, you mainly want to look at the enemy queen and the enemy clan castle troops. These two are incredibly important to get rid of. So where should you identify to use your charge? Well, you want the clan castle to dictate this. So you either want to go in towards where the queen is or where the clan castle is. In this case, the clan castle's in the center, so you can hit from anywhere, but mostly look for where that queen is. If the queen's down here, you should be hitting from there, because you can hit from the town hall side, but you're not going to get the clan castle, and you're definitely not going to get the queen. So you want to be able to go in for that enemy queen. Usually what you want to start by doing is walking your queen and then charging in, or you can do something like this, and there's an open wall, you can charge your queen in. You saw the use of the LavaLoon in order to soak up any seeking air mines on the outside, because that is going to possibly hurt you later if you don't use that one balloon. That way what you're able to do is protect your healers. Now, normally you're going to use a rage spell when you're going in for the enemy queen and the enemy king. That way what you're able to do is keep your queen alive, because they are going to do a lot of damage even under healers. So you want to use both that and maybe even a headhunter or two to actually get through it, as the headhunters will be able to slow them down, and it's not going to let them do nearly as much damage. Now in this base, this is a symmetrical base design, meaning that you can hit from anywhere, or you can just let your queen really charge at any point, because it's the same on both sides. Now normally if you're going to be going in for a particular area, like as an example here, the Inferno Tower, you can go ahead and create the funnel by using the king, baby dragon, sneaky goblins, and that way what you're able to do while the queen walks this way, you've got the queen to start working in this direction towards the town hall. But once you get rid of the enemy clan castle troops, as an example here, once that queen starts to step up, poison and freeze to take care of a really common type of CC, you will be able to then start your Lalo portion. Because after the clan castle, you can leave your queen be. You know what your queen's going to get. Now your focus should be on the Lalo portion. Now, if you're going to be doing this on either the Eagle Artillery or the Town Hall, you have a couple options. You can use the Stone Slammer to take care of that, and you mainly want to look at the air defense placement when you're doing so. So you want to be able to look at this and say this is air defense 1, so that's your point A, point B, and then to point C. So you really want to try and take advantage of this some sort of like C-shaped pathing for this LavaLoon portion. That way what you're able to do is start bunching up your balloons so that then you can make one big balloon parade. That's exactly what you really want as you start to move through. You want to funnel these guys just enough so they enter this way. Now, it looks like from here, though, we're going to see these lava pumps get absolutely deleted. Oh my goodness. But it's all good because you've got so many balloons left over, and if you have enough power, your queen could possibly get rid of the town hall with absolutely no problem at all. So if you can get rid of the town hall, then you really don't need the Warden Eternal Tome over it. You can use it anywhere. And if you're using it with this many balloons, it might just be better to just swag it like what the attacker here is going to do. So you really don't need to put so much emphasis on that Warden Eternal Tome. But if you're going in towards the Town Hall with the Lalo or anything else, try to use that Warden Eternal Tome to protect them as much as you can. There's also other ways that you can spice up your Queen Charge Lalo by adding a Yeti Bomb. This can be done on a variety of different defenses, but the main one you should be looking for is going to either be the Town Hall or the Inferno Tower set to either multi or single. It doesn't matter. So you want to mainly, though, look at the sweeper. You want to see, is it in a bad position? Is it going to blow back my blimp? If not, take advantage of it. But you also want to try and look for an area that is a plausible spot for you to create the funnel, like in this case here, where you can use it to not only get value, but to create the funnel. That way you can send the blimp in straight for that defense, or even for the town hall. So that should be the main goal. You don't want to pretty much not get the town hall and not create a funnel. You want to be able to create enough of a funnel so that way you don't have to worry about going into that part. So using a couple cocoa loons in order to make it easier for you to soak up any seeking air mines, then you can start taking down the town hall and luring out the clan castle. That's another thing that you should keep in mind. Now this one's using 2 Yetis. With a rage spell, you can really weaken up a lot of defenses. As an example there, getting rid of an air defense. But you can also bring in some sneaky goblins if you want to get rid of the town hall faster. But usually I wouldn't recommend that if you're going in for an inferno tower. Just bring in the 2 Yetis and maybe bring a rage spell if you want to use that rage to take down that defense or the town hall. So you want to consider those things. Now, when you're dealing with enemy clan castle troops like you're doing here, you can bring the use of a Valkyrie. The Valkyrie can absolutely get through smaller, swarmy units that could really harm your queen. That way, what you're able to do is use her to kind of sweep through them, and that way you don't need to worry about them all too much, and you're able to keep your queen alive. Remember, that is the main thing. And also, after you use a Yeti bomb, look for that enemy queen. So if she's in the core, start charging your way into the core. Now be very careful as well of having your heroes, the king and queen, really close together like you see here. You do not want the healers to then automatically switch onto the king like you see here in this case, because that could hurt your attack later on. Now if you're doing this, make sure that you bring the use of a headhunter to slow down that queen against your queen. That way, you're able to easily work through and take her down. That should be the main threat. After you get rid of the queen, you can then start your Lalo portion. Now you can also go ahead and bring the use of a ICE HOUND. Normally, what I would recommend if you're bringing in the ICE HOUND is try to look for buildings, or mainly for the air defense placement, point A and point B, and try to make sure that that ICE HOUND is able to tank for both air defenses. That way what you're able to do is take advantage of the freeze effect. When the freeze effect goes off, it's going to freeze not only the air defense, but everything else, including other structures. Mainly, I would highly recommend popping it over the Inferno or even over other structures. But it doesn't really matter all too much as long as you're able to freeze a good area where you don't need to use spells at. So that way you can bring in the use of a haste spell later on. That way you can also use the Warden Eternal Tome to get through an Inferno Tower, since that is going to be a defense that's going to shred your balloons. But after that, you're going to be able to easily get through. You'll have a nice balloon parade like this one, and you're going to be able to settle the score easily with the use of the Yeti Bomb, the Ice Hound, and the Lalo portion, since you should have enough in order to easily start working through. There's also another way that you can spice up your Queen Charge Lalo by using the lightning spells. Usually you want to look for either the Inferno Tower or Eagle Artillery. If the Queen is right by either one of them, using 7 lightning spells is enough to get rid of her and the building of choice. If you're going to be getting rid of the Eagle though, bring an Earthquake spell, because you can't take it down with just 7 lightning spells like you can with the Inferno Tower. So you want to get through that. The next thing is using the Battle Blimp to get rid of the Town Hall. Normally, though, you're going to bring in some sneaky goblins because the Yetis really won't do too much, and you also need to use that rage spell that you have in the clan castle for the queen. Now, when you're doing this, be very careful of giant bombs and small bombs. Like you see here, you see those. They're very faded a little bit, but you can see them. Make sure that you have some smaller units like barbarians to trigger those and to make sure that it's easier for your sneaky goblins to get through. So now while the sneaky goblins are taking care of the town hall, once the queen gets into position, you can use the lightning spells to take down the enemy queen, bringing in the earthquake spell to get through that. So now that you've dealt with the town hall, you've dealt with the enemy queen with the lightning spells, now it's time to start your queen charge. Now this CC is going to be a bit of a slower one. It's a Lava Hound. So we will kind of fast forward through it just to make sure that we are not wasting your time. But the whole idea is, if you are dealing with a Lava Hound CC and you also see the use of a Headhunter, just let that Headhunter die in the poison. You don't need to use a Valkyrie or anything to take care of it. But the Lava Hound is sort of a CC that is kind of a time waster, pretty much. You don't want to really waste any time when you're doing a Queen Charge Lalo. Now that you've been able to sort of create the funnel, you've gone through the enemy clan castle, you then want to start going into an area where you're going to be able to create a bit of a funnel. That's where the king is going to come into play. And you could use a super wall breaker and the jump spell to get deeper into the base. Mainly into the core of the base. Getting rid of a core inferno is massive. A core inferno can really damage your attack, especially if it's in an island like this one is. So using the jump spell to open up as much of the base for it is exactly what you want. And from this alone, you are trying to absolutely cut the base down. One of the other things I noticed is the barbarians are going to be able to cut down this air defense here, even though there's that multi-inferno. That's huge value right there. I didn't even notice it. But now, once you've gone through everything, you're able to start getting your queen to go in to cut the base. Start using your Lalo portion. Make sure that you're using 3, 4, even 5 balloons on the outside to create the funnel for other balloons. You want them to go into one big group. That way, what you're able to do is, since you don't have the use of a haste spell, you can go ahead and start by using that Warden Eternal Tome in order to protect them through a multi-inferno. This is very important because you want to be able to get through, you want to have enough cleanup, and you want to make sure that it's even easier for everything to continuously work through. Mainly, you want to make sure that you are protecting your balloons for as much as you can. And that way, you have enough of those balloons to absolutely wreck through the rest of it. And that really kind of goes over exactly what you want to do if you want to add those lightning spells to spice it up. Now, what if the clan castle is lureable, like in this base here? Well, you want to take advantage of that. You don't need to charge in for the clan castle. You want to charge in for the queen. That way, what you're able to do is get rid of other structures. As an example, the Eagle Artillery, maybe a couple expos, and of course the enemy queen, and maybe getting rid of a sweeper or two. That way, what you're able to do is start moving through the base and make it easier for your attack. So you can start this by just using a simple giant. That way, what you're able to do is lure out the entire clan castle and be able to make sure that your queen is starting to create the funnel, while then also using a balloon or two on the other side to make sure that you're able to control where your queen is going. Now, sometimes here, unfortunately, sometimes the super minions, the goblins, and also the headhunters can make for a devastating combo that could force the ability. So you usually want to use the rage spell to get really prepared against the clan castle, and then also going ahead and using a freeze against the headhunters and using a poison versus the super minions. That way, keeping the poison for the super minions for longer allows you to get through them. Now, when you're charging your way in, create the funnel on the other side. If you see that there's an air defense on the outside like here, you can just use that king to take care of that air defense, since it's practically a free air defense. So you want to be able to easily get through. Now, you also want to make sure that you're making your way charging in for the queen, getting rid of the Eagle Artillery, and start going in for the enemy queen. You can use a freeze spell in order to freeze up that queen. That way you can get through, have a headhunter to really help out as well, so that then your queen is not taking a ton of damage from something like the Grand Warden Altar and the Expos. Now you can then start your Lalo portion. This is going to either be by starting off with using the Stone Slammer and moving that in with the Warden, though I wouldn't recommend doing this. Instead, I would use the Warden with a main group, not really with the Stone Slammer. Now, in this case here, we've got 1 air defense remaining. The Queen took down 2, the King took down 1, and it's really simple. Point A, the only point that you really need to sort of get rid of. And that is it. So that is why the attacker in this case is only bringing 1 Lava Hound, instead of either 2 or 3, which of course 3 would be way too much in a Queen Charge Lalo, but being able to get through is exactly what you want. using the haste spells to get to defenses like the air defense. That way you're making it easier upon yourself to get through, and you want to use that Warden Eternal Tome as you get over to the back end Inferno or defensive structures. That way you make it easier upon yourself to get the triple while using the Queen Charge Lalo. And you're just going to make it even easier as you go through cleanup with the minions and any other smaller troops that you may have. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell for more educational yet fun Clash of Clans content here for Town Hall 12 and possibly for Town Hall 13 in the future. Let me know what you guys also want to see next here on the channel, and hopefully I'll be able to get to it. Make sure to use code CORRUPT in any Supercell game, and I'll be catching you next video. Corrupt, signing out.